Yo, what's going on? I want to quickly talk about some him. All right. Throw a like on the video. I appreciate all that do. In fact, if you like this video, you'll get $1,000,000 inside of 20 years. All right. Take my word on it. Now, him is a new movie from, you guessed it, Jordan Peele. But we got to be careful here because I did some research and Jordan Peele is merely the director. He is not the producer or the writer of the screenplay, which is pretty important if you care. If you know, you know, right? We know that every movie that Jordan Peele has, directed, those movies go on to be pretty interesting and pretty cool. However, in this case, he's serving as a a producer. So, there lies a little difference there. In fact, the producer of him, which comes out on September 29th, 2025, is directed by Justin Tipping. And I'm a little nervous because what I did was I took a look at all the shows or movies that Justin Tipping, produced and or directed. And I'm not impressed with this lineup here. Let me read these to you just because I want you to be on the same wavelength as I am. Justin Tipping has directed movies or shows such as Joe versus Carol. Never heard of that one. Flatbush Misdemeanors. Never heard of that one. Run the World. Never heard of that one. Kicks. Never heard of that one. Nani. Never heard of that one. And The Shy. We've all heard of that one. All right. So if you listen to that what do you call it? Those shows that he's produced or directed, those are not the most attention grabbing titles. I've only heard of one of these. And have you heard of any of these? Okay. Have you heard of any of these besides The Shy? Obviously, I think that's obviously the most popular one. And what scares me even about that is that I've never watched The Shy. It just never grabbed my attention. I know that it's good because a lot of people seem to enjoy it, but I'm just not one of them. But what do you think about Jordan Peele not writing the screenplay or directing this film? I kind of felt like that was something that I needed to see. And they're doing a great job with the marketing. And I guess that's a part of what Jordan Peele does as the producer. He's obviously putting taking the director's vision and putting it in front of us. So he's producing the film to us. And you can definitely see his hands all over the marketing. You see the football with a little blood drip coming out of it. And that right there shows you that Jordan Peele is involved. And I still think that's an interesting choice because, Jordan Peele's movies are not necessarily bloody. I mean, Us was a little on that side of things, but for the most part, his movies are mostly about the mental. Yeah. Will this save Jordan Peele's legacy, which I perceive to be on a downward decline? And we'll talk about that. But what do you think about the premise? So, you got a star quarterback. He goes to a camp and he's following Marlon Wayans. And we know that Marlon Wayans is starting to make a